Hello and welcome to my bedroom. So this feels a little awkward to do, but I know that sleep is one of the biggest issues for perimenopausal women, and it is such a critical tool in order to feel better in perimenopause. My sleep started to suffer in my late 30s, and that was one of the very first signs that things were starting to change. So I thought that I would give you a little tour of our bedroom, our not so fancy bedroom, to share some of the things that we have done to help improve sleep for both of us. So one of the very first changes we made was getting a new mattress. We had been using the same mattress for probably 13-ish years at the time. So we were due for an upgrade. And we ended up switching from a queen to a king. And I had done a ton of research on what mattress to get. I wanted lower toxic mattress. And if you've ever searched for a mattress before, you can go into a deep, dark hole going through all of the different types of mattresses, how to figure out what type is right for you. There's so many different qualities of mattresses. And we ended up going with a Sattva mattress. From the research that I did, it seemed that it was just part of the journey that you will likely not like your first mattress that you get. So we wanted to get one that had a really great service policy if we didn't end up liking it and we needed to exchange it. So Sattva had, I don't know if they still have it, a 1-year return policy. So if there's at any point within a year you don't like it, you can exchange it for another one. You just pay like a $99 service delivery fee. So I liked that. I liked that it was lower toxicity, and I liked that it was a bed that didn't come in a box. This is probably polarizing, but it seemed that more people had poor feedback about beds and boxes. So we just decided to do one that had, they call it a white glove delivery. It sounds fancy, but it's really just people who actually deliver your mattress and take away your old ones. So that worked for us, and we started with Sattva. When we were trying to figure out a mattress, we realized my husband and I have different sleep preferences. So I wanted it a little bit more on the firm side. Come to find out, he needed it more on the softer side. So halfway in between, we ended up exchanging it for a mattress that was split. So half of it was more firm and the other half was a little bit more soft. And then the next phase was that we realized that part of the issue of why I wasn't sleeping well is that my husband tosses and turns a lot at night. And ever since I had kids, I sleep very lightly. So that kept waking me up in the middle of the night, which was not great. So we thought, okay, maybe we try actually having 2 twin mattresses. A friend of mine said that her and her husband did 2 twin mattresses next to each other that fits on a king size frame, and it changed their marriage. So we ended up going that route. So I have my twin, my husband has his twin, and we have our own little preferences. You can see his is a little bit higher because he also has an extra mattress pad on his side. To take it even a step further, we have different sheet setups in here and like blanket setups. So this covers up the whole bed, but he has a separate comforter and sheets on his side of the bed, and I have my own setup of my blankets under my bed. So it's kind of like isn't it like the Swedish setup to a bed with just one blanket over the top, except for we also have sheets. Anyway, so that has worked out beautifully for us because I noticed that when you share a flat sheet and he would move around, I would feel him moving a lot. He can roll around, and yeah, I'll feel it a little bit on the bed frame, but I don't have as much disruption because we're on different sheets, we're on different mattresses. It's just less disruption overall. And it was actually kind of a difficult thing for our relationship because I was finding that my husband was waking me up so much, and it was infuriating to me when I would be having a good sleep and then all of a sudden he would toss and turn, and then I would be awake for the rest of the night. So it has been something that has really helped our relationship too, and that we were able to still sleep in a room together. I was getting close to the point of like, we might need to sleep in separate rooms, which by the way, I'm in full support of. If that is something that helps relationships, I can completely understand, especially for what we went through, of why that is an appealing option for couples to try. But it's been a way for us to be able to sleep in the same bed and be able to be next to each other, but have totally different sleep setups based on our preferences, and we both are so much happier for it. The other big change we made was that we now use a heating and cooling system for our mattress. Sounds excessive, but it was life-changing. So we use something called the Uller sleep system. It is a water-based heating and cooling system. They no longer make this specific version. It was by a company called Chili Sleep. I believe the company name has now changed to Sleep Me, and they have a similar version that's called the Chili Pad. But this is a water-based system, so you can see that there are tubes in the back. There is water that is stored in here. It is controlled by an app where I can set what temperature I want it to be. This easily just slides right under our bed, so I don't even see it. And then the tubes connect to the mattress topper that goes over the top of your mattress, obviously. And you can see there's little tubes that run through here, and that is where the temperature controlled water goes to, and it ends up heating and cooling the pad to whatever temperature you want it to be. Honestly, when you're laying down, I don't notice the tubes. It is held down by these straps here, so it doesn't really shift at all, but it keeps it in place. I love the app because I can set a specific schedule that I want it to go to. It does take a little bit of time to figure out what schedule works for you based on whatever your preferences are. I run hot. I sleep very hot, and my husband sleeps very cold. So after making this change, we realized when I sleep at 62 degrees and he likes to sleep at 70, 75 degrees, there's no wonder why both of us were very uncomfortable when we were sleeping under the same blankets on the same mattress. Even if we met in the middle, I would be hot and he would be cold. It's been a great way for us to be able to have both of our preferences. And yeah, this may seem a little bit extra. I get it. It's also not cheap. But when you think about how much time you spend in bed every single day and how important it is to your overall health, it is a drop in the bucket and was so worth it. It's one of those things that has made such a huge difference for both of us to be able to sleep well. And that is so important during this life stage. Again, ours is discontinued, but I will put a link to the one that is very similar, and I think you get like 20% off. The next accessories that have helped me is I always wear an eye mask. We could use blackout shades if we wanted to, but even still, we always keep our bedroom door open for our kids to be able to come in the middle of the night. We've got a night light in the hallway. That would still give me a little light stimulation in my eyes. So I love using an eye mask. This is a simple basic one from Amazon. It was probably, I don't know, $10 to $15 at most. So I will link to a version that is similar to this below. It's nothing special. The next piece that I use is earplugs. Again, I am a very light sleeper, and these are great because they don't block out all the noise completely, so I can still hear if a kid runs into our room. I'll hear the thump, 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 thump down the hallway, but it drowns out some of that smaller noise. My dog sleeps right next to me. If he's tossing and turning, I don't hear it. So I love using these. It's just Max Ultra Soft Foam earplugs. Nothing special. I will link to them below. And then the next piece that I use is mouth tape. So I don't know if you've seen a lot of the craze about mouth tape or taping your mouth shut during sleep, but if you've read the book Breath, you might be convinced to be doing it yourself. It's 3M micropore tape, which is surgical tape. I take a small piece of it, I put chapstick on my lips, and then I stick it to my hand a couple times to take some of the stick off, and then I just put it over my lips. Yes, it looks weird. And the first time I did it, I felt a little suffocating. But the reason why I started with mouth tape was I had done a sleep study that showed that I was breathing through my mouth. Again, if you read the book Breath, which I highly recommend, that breathing through your nose is optimal for delivery of oxygen across your entire body. It is far less stressful for your body. It warms the air, it moistens the air. And there's so many different benefits to breathing out of your nose, especially at night. Again, you're hopefully spending at least 7 hours doing that every single day. And so that really can add up over time. And when I started mouth taping using my Oura Ring, I noticed a huge difference in my quality of sleep as well, and that I was able to have much deeper sleep. There are fancier versions of this out there. There's ones that look like lips. There's ones that just go around your mouth here. It's really whatever you feel comfortable with. This is honestly the cheaper version, and it works great for me. And so this is the option that I like to use. And then a tool to help help me be able to measure if any of these were successful is the Oura Ring. I know it's not perfect. There is no tool that is perfect, but it was the best tool for me to be able to measure recovery, not only looking at your deep sleep and your REM every single night, which many tools do, but also looking at heart rate variability so I could see whether or not my body was fully able to recover at night. And that was also a great way to measure if each of these tools were effective in helping my sleep. And I can honestly say that every single thing that I mentioned to you was visibly different in my sleep score with my Oura Ring. And I love the Oura Ring because it's much easier for me to wear than a watch at night. I hate wearing a watch. I want nothing on my arm. So for me, a ring was a great way to be able to keep that measurement going at night. Overall, this feels like a very vulnerable video to make because I'm a little embarrassed about how many sleep tools that we use, and it shows that I've got other areas that I need to improve in my life that I cannot sleep very well, but all of them have made such a big difference in improving my sleep and helping to give my body the recovery that it needs in order to feel and function well during the day. So again, when you look at how many hours you are sleeping every single day and you add that up over an entire year, that's a third of your life you are spending in bed and sleeping. And so I really wanted to focus my efforts on making sure that I was making the most of that time and getting the highest quality sleep possible. I'll link to everything that I mentioned here in case you didn't catch them or you want to check them out any further. And if you have any questions on anything that I mentioned here, I'm an open book. So feel free to ask me any questions. Or if you want to hear about anything more in depth, I'm more than happy to make any extra videos about certain aspects if that would be helpful. Do you have sleep problems? Like, where are you on the sleep spectrum? Is this something that's an issue for you? I'd love to hear in the comments. Or if you have any sleep hacks that have worked for you, please share. Do not gatekeep them from us. I would love to hear anything that has really helped you. So thank you for watching this one and bearing with me. I hope it was helpful for somebody. And if not, that's okay. I mean, I know that this type of content isn't for everybody, but I just wanted to share my personal experience. So thank you for watching. You got this. I'm here with you every step of the way. If there's anything else that I can help with when it comes to your sleep, let me know in the comments. See you in the next one.